I am Ryan, the Life Changer, and I am so grateful that you decided to join me today. This podcast is called Unlock the Power of Your Mind. Let me ask you a question. Are you ready for your life to change? Are you ready to unlock the power of your mind? Are you ready to be the best version of you possible? I want to help you. I want this podcast to give new, positive meanings to the difficult times that you faced in your life. And I want to help you become the best version of you possible. This is your time. The change is happening for you now. I know you're ready. Let's help today to change your life. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for joining me for another episode of Unlock the Power of Your Mind. Today, I have a guest, ladies and gentlemen, that I have been working so hard to bring on the program because I know he's going to be able to help change your lives. His name is Brad Lea. He is the CEO and founder of LightSpeed VT. He has the #1 podcast in the world, Dropping Bombs. He is Mr. Brad Lea, AKA the real Brad Lea, AKA the Rhino. Mr. Lea, thank you so much for your time today.
Man, thanks for having me.
So share with the listeners who maybe aren't familiar with LightSpeed VT, what it is that you do there at your company, Mr. Lea.
Say that again.
LightSpeed VT, the training solutions company, just so the listeners can get familiar with what it is that you do.
Well, LightSpeed VT is a web-based interactive training solutions company where we help people either train people or monetize training. So if you're a subject matter expert, you have some sort of expertise, our mission is to, make the world a better place by getting the knowledge from the people who have it to the people who need it. So either you have it or you need it. And what's crazy is everybody has knowledge and everybody needs knowledge. So technically we're looking for the whole world, but it's a web-based interactive training and communication platform that allows people to train and learn and improve their skills. So whether you're the expert or the student, that's what we do.
Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that aren't familiar with LightSpeed VT, I want to highly encourage you to go check it out. What Brad is doing, how long has the company been operating for, Brad?
Including today?
Yes.
20 years.
20 years. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a cutting edge program that was started 20 years ago, and I still know that there are so many of you that will at some point in time use this in some aspect of your life. Particularly, I think when it comes to the education field, where do you see as the future for the company in childhood or adolescent education, Brad?
Well, we're going to try to fix education because, ultimately right now, you basically force the student to adapt to the content when in reality, it should be the opposite. We should be adapting the content to the individual. And with our interactive system, we can do that. So ultimately what we're going to try to do is make it to where, all the way from K through 12 up to higher education colleges, we're going to make it to where the curriculum is more relevant to today and also have the ability to interactively figure out who the student is, what they're interested in, what their skill sets are, and adapt the content to the individual.
I love it. So let's dive in and talk about education. Hopefully, I'm sure that the listeners are going to receive an education from you today, and you're going to drop some bombs on them, and we're going to change lives together in our conversation. I want to talk about the foundation of any business, which is the individual. And I want to focus on you, Brad. I think that your story and where you came from is incredible. Share with the listeners a little bit about your early childhood and what that was like growing up.
Well, I always like to, make it sound more grim than it was. At the end of the day, we didn't have a lot of money, but we had enough. We weren't starving. My dad was a kind of a blue collar worker, had brothers and sisters, and ultimately made a lot of mistakes growing up because I was left to kind of fend for myself, and learned a lot the hard way. And eventually found my way into sales. And then I think sales is the foundational building block of anybody's success. I think if you look at it, sales and the ability to persuade and close is the fundamental building block of success. I don't know if anybody's ever succeeded without the ability to sell and close.
I would agree. And so the reason that I talk about the early childhood is for, number one, the listeners to become connected with you, for those who don't know you. But more importantly, because we live in a world today where everybody sees the end. They look at the real Brad Lea and they see LightSpeed VT, which is this huge company, and the cars and the public speaking and the 10X Growth Con. But what they didn't get to see was all the adversity and the obstacles that you overcame. So what I want to share with the listeners today is, what was your mindset? How did you overcome these obstacles? Because you didn't have the silver spoon in your mouth or the perfect silhouette kind of guideline to work, in some multi-million-dollar company. You created it from the ground up. So let's dive into some key points. You talk about your grandmother told your father something important. It was kind of a pivot point in your life. How do you look at that day now, and how do you feel that situation served you and helped you to where you are today?
Man, dude, you did some homework, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about, when my grandmother told my dad to come get us because we were basically put into a foster home, like an orphanage almost. But I guess my mom and dad were arguing and divorcing, and I was only 2 at the time. And so me and my brothers and sisters, except for the little baby one, were put into a foster home, and we were about to get shipped out to different homes. And my grandmother told my dad, you better go get your ass and get your kids. So he came to get us. And then obviously, as the story goes, we went to live with my dad. But, that sounds all tough and, harsh, and, I don't even remember it. So it wasn't even a factor. Listen, at the end of the day, man, hard times and, all that shit, it's mindset that matters. Okay. Your mindset matters. People ask me, what did you do when you hit rock bottom? And I keep saying, I've never hit rock bottom. Like, I don't know what I did because I've never been at rock bottom. And then people are like, well, didn't you live on the beach once? Didn't you have to sleep on the beach? Weren't you homeless? And I'm like, yeah, but how's that rock bottom, man? I got to sleep on the beach. Like, it's the beach. It was Malibu Beach. It was actually Zuma Beach. But point being is, like, sleeping on the beach, why would someone think that's rock bottom? You got the wrong perspective if you think sleeping on a beach is rock bottom. So I have a saying that I heard a long time ago. I don't remember where I heard it, but it's, I used to be pissed that I have no shoes until I met a man with no feet. Have you ever heard that?
I remember exactly where I was when I heard that conversation. I was with my grandfather at a diner, and he told me, listen, I'm going to give you a piece of advice that's going to last you a long time. And I remember him saying those exact words to me.
Well, that's what it boils down to, because if you're gonna ask me questions about how rough excuse me how rough my childhood was, unless I make it up, it's not going to sound very rough, because to me, mentally, it wasn't rough. Like, we had food. It was fine. Now, do I wish I had better parenting? Yes. Do I wish that I had the type of dad that would have came to all my sporting events and suggested that I stick with sports and have a little freaking integrity and, determination and, coached me and groomed me? Yes. But he didn't. So what? To me, it's like, he's still my dad. And guess what? He did teach me. He taught me how to be resourceful, and he taught me how to survive, because he basically left me alone and made sure I didn't die, but basically taught me how to be a survivor, like very resourceful. So which would you rather learn? When I look back, it's like, damn, I could have freaking been a, athlete. My life could have been completely different had I had a good parenting experience. But guess what? Maybe I got the exact parenting I should have gotten to get where I'm at now, which is, again, being resourceful. You leave a kid alone, they get resourceful. They start to figure out, what's going on. How do they get things done? How do they get things achieved? Well, I did that as a youngster. So guess what? Now, shit, I can survive anywhere. I can get anything to happen. My mindset is my gift.
Love it. That's exactly the point that I was hoping that we would be able to get from that. So awesome. Speaking about mindset, just so the listeners can kind of get a little bit connected with you, right? You're pulling weeds, you're flipping bubble gum, you're selling candy bars. At what point in time in your childhood did you kind of realize, hey, I have a different mindset than some of these other children? Were you cognizant of it, or it was just inherently in you?
Yeah, I wasn't really aware of it. I think I had a lot of common sense as a kid. I still do. Common sense is very uncommon, but I had a lot of it. It's like, wait a minute, this isn't working. So let me figure out why. And, common sense will tell you a lot of things that most people aren't listening to, but I wasn't really aware of it. When I was doing the candy bar thing and making sales, common sense led me to be extremely persuasive while I was doing it, but I didn't realize at the time, hey, I'm good at this. You know what I'm saying? I didn't realize that there was a skill set involved. So I would say, no, I wasn't aware of it.
Okay. And so kind of share with the listeners a little bit about after high school or, the age of 17, did you complete high school, Brad, or did you stop before you completed it?
Yeah, no, I dropped out in the beginning of the 11th grade, 16 years old. I quit school.
And what was going through your mind at that time? I know that you were getting into acting and moving out to LA.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be a movie star, and shit, who needs school? I'm gonna go be a movie star. So I quit school and tried to go be a LA actor and got tired of being broke. Ultimately ended up doing a lot of things, but yeah, I thought I was going to be a movie star. Who needed school?
What I find interesting about it is this could be just framing it from another way. There's a lot of adults that maybe have always had the dream of being an actor or being an actress and are afraid to take the risk to go out and move out to LA or whatever the case may be and go after their dream. Yet here you are 16, 17 years old and just fearless. Like, all right, well, I'm going to go after it and just go get it. Was there that fear of failure going through your mind, or you said, nope, this is what I want and I'm just going to go for it?
Yeah, no fear of failure. I've never been that way. Like everyone has superpowers. I've got two, and one is I don't fear the normal things, and two, I don't give a rat's ass about things. Like I don't fear failing. I don't fear being judged. I don't fear looking stupid. Most people, the reason they don't take action is because they fear being judged. They don't want to look stupid. What if somebody sees me? What if I fail? What if I look dumb? What if my parents are right? And so ultimately their whole life, they don't take any moves. They don't make any moves. They don't take any action. And, I don't do that. Like I fear not, being successful more than I fear, what if I don't? You know what I mean? Like most people fear, what if I don't make it? So they don't do anything because they fear what might happen if they try and they fail. And I'm the opposite. I think I fear more what happens if I don't try and I stay the same. Like that's what scares me. People are like, dude, man, you had to have the you were brave to go start your own business. Brave? You're brave to sit there and let somebody else tell you what to do all the time. You're more brave to sit there and have to ask if you can go take a vacation with your family. Like to me, you're not brave starting your own business. It's normal. If you don't start your own business, to me, dude, you're the brave one. You're literally going to work for someone that tells you what to do all day. Like you ask whether or not you can come and go and they tell you what you're worth. Here, sir, you're worth $20 per hour. Here, you come in and show up for me and I'm going to give you $10,000 a month. Like that's what you're worth. Like that's to me crazy. Why would you let someone tell you what you're worth? But see, it's all perspective. It all boils down to perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah. And that's what I think is one of the things that's so incredible about you, Brad, is the way that you're just always able to keep things in perspective and kind of I don't want to say control your emotions, but have you always been just kind of laid back in the sense of, all right, this is what I want and I'm going for it? Like that's just always how you've been?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you want something, you have to go after it. At the end of the day, man, you can get anything you want. All you have to do is know how to get it. So like, for example, I'm coming out with my sales and closing training, right? Now people are like, well, what's it going to say? First of all, the fact that that there's steps, like for example, the salsa or the waltz, there's dances out there. You ever heard of the waltz?
Yes, sir.
You know how to do it?
No matter how much tequila I drank, I could not perform that dance correctly.
Okay, so if I showed you the steps and the moves to the waltz and you practice them, do you think you would then learn them and be able to dance?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's the same thing with sales and closing. Sales and closing are, think of them as a dance. They're between a couple parties. And if you know the steps and the moves and you understand that there's mechanical, tactical steps to a sale, like before you sell anything, you should get prepared. What does preparation look like? I can break it down. So this is what preparation looks like. You should do it every time you get ready to engage. Now, if someone doesn't do it, that's called shortcutting. That's their decision. But guess what? It's once you're aware of how to do it, then you don't do it. Well, then that's your decision to be weak, to be average. But if somebody doesn't even understand that there are steps, that's the problem. That's why people are terrible at sales. Everybody's in sales. The problem is only the bad ones don't realize they're doing it. You know what I mean? A good salesperson realizes they're actively selling. Bad salespeople just don't realize there's actual steps along the way. Closing, there's actual steps along the way. Mindset, I can teach you how to have a great mindset, the actual tactical steps in doing so. Do you know how to do it?
I believe so, yes.
Well, here's for your listeners, okay? I'll give it to them free because mindset is everything. Mindset is the foundation of everything. So here's how I do it, and I promise it'll work for you if you guys try it. What I do is I wake up every morning, and the first thing that I think about as soon as my eyes open is, wow, I get another chance. This is another day. I'm awake. I'm alive. This is unbelievable. Think about it. That is some pretty damn good news to get every morning, is it not?
Yes, sir.
Dude, you wake up and the first bit of news you get is you get another chance. That is fantastic news to get every single morning. Unless, of course, you're taking shit for granted. Unless, of course, you have the wrong mindset. And then you wake up and you're like, I got to go to work. My bills are due. Dude, be grateful that you just woke up, okay? Because a lot of people didn't. Okay, so you wake up with a mindset of pure gratefulness. That starts off the perfect. Now, throughout the day, you have to understand one thing throughout the day. You control everything, okay? You don't necessarily control what the person or situation is, but you definitely control yourself and how you react to it, right or wrong.
Yes.
So if
right.
you get pissed off, it's because you got pissed off. You wanted to get pissed off. I can say something to you and you get pissed off. Who got you pissed off, me or you?
Me.
Right. You control it. See, people don't understand they control themselves. So when you walk up to me and you say, hey, Brad, you're looking fat, I can get mad. I can laugh. I can ignore you. It's up to me, right? Well, people don't realize that the power is in their control. So when they go through the day and they're like, they have a bad day and you really ask them, what happened? Oh, this person came in and said this and did that and this happened and I just got pissed off and I blew up and I had to take a breather. And dude, you allowed that to happen. You caused that to happen. That's what people need to understand. So you wake up being grateful and then you go through your day realizing you're in control of the outcome of every situation. And once you're mindfully aware of that, well, now you go through life and you're laughing at everything. Like somebody says you're a loser, you're laughing at it. You go on social media, somebody's being a dick. You laugh at it. Why? Because I control how I react. I get mad. It's because I wanted to get mad. So guess what? If you don't want to get mad, don't get mad. Now, all of a sudden, people are starting to think, holy crap, dude, this guy's right. You can actually control that shit. Well, now go throughout your day and see what happens. You're going to walk around. Everyone's going to be like, holy moly, man, this dude's fun. This guy's funny. This guy's positive. This guy's confident. Like nothing bothers this guy. Well, that's why. Because A, I'm glad I'm alive. Number two, I get to control what bums me out. And I don't want anything to bum me out. So I walk through life every single day with a positive mindset. And that is the foundation to success. If your mindset sucks, dude, you are in a big world of trouble, because ultimately it's all perspective. And your mindset, which is basically just a collection of attitudes, like, it's a set of attitudes. That's your mindset defined. It's a set of attitudes, right? So if your attitude towards life sucks, you got a bad mindset. How do you fix your mindset? You be grateful and you fucking realize that you control everything, people. You control every outcome of every situation. You control your own emotions, your own decisions. So once you realize that, and you really realize that, dude, everything's wonderful because you control it. Think about that. You control your whole entire life. And once somebody realizes that, seriously realizes that, because people will say, yeah, I know I do. Well, then what are you getting pissed off for? Well, why are you having a bad day then? It's impossible, if you totally understand that you really control everything, to have a bad day, because you're in control, dumbass. If you're upset, then you're upset because you want to be. And then you think, well, I don't want to be. Well, then why are you upset? Well, because this guy pissed me off. That guy didn't piss you off. You got yourself pissed off. Does that make sense or no?
Yeah, absolutely. We control the meaning that we give to the events that happen to us in our life.
Period. And anybody listening to this podcast understands that, dude, you just became a better human being and your whole life just improved. Whether you believe it or not, you just have to actually understand the facts that were just spoken, because it is factual.
Love it. So let's talk about one of your quotes and how we can elevate that to the next level. So you say, maximize the level that you're on so that you can get on to the next level. How do we know if we're walking too much on that next level and we haven't maxed out the level that we were at before? Like, how do we know if we are ready to take the step up, or if we maybe took the step up too fast and we should readjust?
Well, dude, when I said maximize the level you're on, people always ask me, how do you get to the next level? And I said, you get to the next level by maximizing the level you're on. So like, why are you trying to get to the next level if you haven't maxed out the level you're on? Does that make sense?
Yes.
So when you automatically go to the next level, it's because you've maxed out the level that you're on. So for example, I want to get in shape, for example. I go to the gym 15 minutes a day, right? 6 months later, I'm wondering why I'm not in shape. How do I get to the next level? Man, how do I get the abs and the muscles and well, dude, max out the level you're on. Go to the gym, max it out. Guess what? Next thing you know, you are ripped. Maybe a bad analogy, but you get my point.
Yeah, absolutely.
People don't max out what they're doing. They just want to get to the next level. How do I get to the next level? And it's like, dude, max out the level you're on. Do everything you can do. Do more, get better. At the end of the day, you guys want a secret? There's your secret. See, people try to make things too complicated, man. Listen, if you guys want to get more out of life, do more than you're doing now and get better. If people are like that, Brad, every time you say that, it sounds so simple. Well, dude, that's what it is. It's simple. Do more, get better. Every day you wake up, do more and get better, and your life will continually improve.
Can't argue with that. The last quote that I want to share with you, which is probably one of the most powerful quotes that I've ever heard, and I think will really help the listeners once you kind of break down what it means. There's no key to success. It's a combination. How do people gain insight into finding their unique combination?
Well, that's a great question, and it's very difficult for me to, tell people how to find their own, because what it means is like everyone always wants to know the key to success, and there's really no key. It's a combination, and everybody has their own. I mean, at the end of the day, what is successful to you is up to you. Like, in other words, I could tell you, if I think successful is partying all night and cheating on my wife and, running girls and blowing money and doing drugs, right? Do you think that's successful? Because I wouldn't think that person is successful. I would think that person is heading for a disaster. I would think that person's living a miserable life. But if that's what you think success is, well, then that's your combination. That's my point. So to me, what I think success is the ability to help people and literally walk around with enough abundance to give out and help without worrying of your own needs. So to me, I'm already successful because I can help people and I don't have to worry about not having enough. That's just me, though. I know people that are 10 times more successful than me, meaning financially, that don't think they're successful. How's that possible?
Everybody's definition of success is different.
That's what that quote means. It means, buddy, you are the only person that can tell you what success is, and you can be successful without a penny in your pocket, or you can be completely unsuccessful, rich as hell. Okay? It's all in your mind, and it's all perspective, and there's no such thing as, a key to success. It's a combination, and everyone has their own. You just have to figure out what it is.
Yeah, I love it. That was so powerful.
Everything.
Love it. All right. So Brad, share with the listeners a little bit about how they can get in touch with you. Maybe they're interested in LightSpeed VT, either for their company or maybe they want to create their own program with LightSpeed VT. How do they get in touch with you?
Well, if you guys want to create a system to train someone better or make money training, all you have to do is go to lightspeedvt.com/simple. I've made it very simple. There's one license. One license is all you need, and you can use the platform for a million different things. We've got people making interactive content to screen applicants. We've got people making content to train people. We've got people selling content to people that they've created, like Grant Cardone and Tony Robbins and all these, subject matter experts. So there's unlimited things you could do with the LightSpeed technology, but to get it is mainly, do you want to train people or make money doing it? And if you do, just go to lightspeedvt.com/simple and enroll. I got a free trial up. You don't even have to pay.
Awesome. And your social media, I want to encourage all of the listeners to check you out. Instagram is where I follow you and love to consume your content. What is your Instagram handle or preferred social media outlets for the people to connect?
Yeah, I hang out on Instagram. Like, if you're going to DM me, it's me answering everybody, but Instagram is my favorite. So IG, it's at the real Brad Lea. That's LEA, by the way. If you can't find me, it's LEA. Most people say, is that Leah? And I say, I don't know. Do you drink Tia?
One last question before we end. How did the nickname the Rhino come about?
People always ask me what's up with the rhino, and I say, you ever try and stop one? And they just kind of laugh, and they're like, well, no. So I identified with a rhino a long time ago when I was at some summer camp, and everyone had to pick an animal, and I just picked a rhino. And to me, they're just the most, they're like tanks. They're just unstoppable, and they're like, the closest thing to a damn prehistoric dinosaur I think there is walking around.
Yes, sir. Awesome. Well, I love that, the tank analogy. So, Brad, thank you so much for your time. I know that you're a busy guy. I want to be respectful. I know that the listeners are going to be able to take away so much from today. So thank you so much.
My pleasure.
All the best, Brad.
Thanks for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this podcast today. My prayer is that it has helped to change your life, to make a positive impact in your life, And I just want to let you know that every single day, the first goal that I write down is I have changed 1 million lives. So ladies and gentlemen, if this podcast helped to change your life today, I would ask you to please go on to iTunes, rate, review, and share this episode with somebody else who you know will benefit and have their life changed. Thank you again so very much. It means the world to me. Go out there and be great today. Make a positive impact in the world.